Everybody, Puffin here. Thanks for watching. It's now Thursday, February 17th, 2021, and here are some of today's top news stories. Rush Limbaugh died, so that's good news. He's been a thorn in our side for quite some time, and just good to see somebody out of the way from the whole Trumpy era. And I guess hell will burn a little hotter tonight with Rush down there. I guess the devil needed a raging blowhard. And in other end of a terrible eyesore news, they destroyed the Trump Tower, just an old casino hotel that he had somewhere that hasn't been used. I think it was made like back in 1980s, and he would have sold it, a long time ago, and somebody else owned it. And it hasn't been used for anything. It's been empty for I think 4 or 6 years, but or maybe longer. But they blew it up, and it was actually just really cool to see it blow up. Like there was the controlled demolition was just kind of amazing how it all folded in. There's other buildings around it, and I guess it all came off without a hitch. And of course, a lot of people were watching. And I probably would have wanted to say something snarky and petty about it, but guess who beat us all to it? Hillary Clinton. So she made like her second news story since losing the 2016 election to Trump. She came out of the woodwork for one statement, it seems like, 3 years ago, and then maybe something else since then. And then today it made the news, and I'm getting my news from, the only news I saw today was the Daily Moth, the Deaf News, and they had this and another political story, or they had some other political stories in a separate section, but these are the two main political stories. Hillary Clinton sent the emoji of a waving hand with a video of the demolition, like as if she had some type of personal rivalry with the building or something. I mean, I understand it's symbolic. Like I said, there's something satisfying, even though Trump doesn't own the building anymore, even though it hasn't been used since longer than he was president, I don't think. There's something satisfying about seeing a Trump Tower destroyed. But Hillary knows she's going to make the news or get some attention for tweeting it out, and to just put a waving hand emoji, it's just so petty and stupid. Like, she could have some actual criticism or do something. I mean, people would listen to her if she said stuff. But there's just something really kind of dumb about that, in my opinion. That it kind of sums up like her role to be like a, like the Princess of Snark or something. And I don't get it, because it's like, if you're supposed to represent in some alternate reality, you're supposed to represent the other non-Trumpy choice of 2016, when really everyone knows it was Bernie. But if you're supposed to represent that, and you're just so petty and pointless and not helping anything, it's kind of indicative of the corporate Democratic establishment, and it's kind of unfortunate. But anyway, good to see the Trump Tower was destroyed, and good news that is ironic that it happens on the same day that Rush Limbaugh is dead, and just good news all around. But and again, I'm pretty petty and snarky to be making this video about all of it anyway, but I feel like, well, Hillary beat me to it, and she's got that power or whatever. But I wish they were using their power for more good. And thanks for watching, and hopefully there'll be some more good news coming out as these investigations and trials into Trump proceed, but also as we hopefully move past the things he's done and undo some of the things he's done with great enthusiasm. One last thing I'll say is there was in the separate report on the Daily Moth, in the political section, there was just a recap of Joe Biden's town hall. And I have to criticize him for pressuring to get schools back, to get back to school as soon as possible. I think that's a mistake. I think the only reason we're even considering that is because of so many months of Trump trying to give everybody the virus. And we haven't realized that we don't need to compromise with that. We need to go completely the opposite direction. And then the other criticism I have is him saying, he doesn't want to defund the police. You can do both. It's not like you can either fund better training for the police or defund the police. Like, you can reallocate what they spend their money on. Instead of all this tear gas and stuff that they're using on citizens illegally, you can spend that money on the training to not have to provoke these situations in the first place where people are protesting your actions, because you're trained to not be that way. Or you're going to need training, because you're going to need to train all new police. That's another thing that really comes down to. Hopefully these investigations into the KKK Proud Boys and stuff infiltrating the police and army forces will yield less of those police automatically. But when you can get rid of all the ones who are guilty of perpetuating that system, which is a whole lot of them. I mean, there are good police officers in there, I guess, but so many of them are guilty of perpetuating that system. You just got to train whole new people to be police anyway. You got to start fresh anyway. You could retrain some of the ones you still have, but it seems more likely you're going to have to train all new police officers. So you're going to have to fund the thing, but you're not going to have to spend all of its money on tear gas and rubber bullets and all this junk. So that's the criticism of Joe Biden from what I heard of the recap of his town hall. But hopefully there'll be better news. He did say he wants to have 600, or he's planning on having 600 million vaccinations to vaccinate everybody in the country that wants a vaccine. So that can be good news, but it's also a matter of, instead of trying to get back to the way things were, making a better society out of what we have left, because we are rebuilding a society here, even though they kind of tried to pretend like nothing was happening. Like, a lot of nothing has been happening, and we get to choose what we want to redo. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we can all work together to make the best choices how to do that. And y'all have a great day.